Thank you for coming, Mr. Yusuf. Now regarding your issue, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what is land. Section 5 of National Land Code, which states land as all things attached to the earth and all things permanently fastened to anything attached to the earth. This includes not only the physical form of the land but also the components included. The components may refer to underlying and overlying things that are permanent nature affixed to the earth either by nature or man-made. The importance in defining land are such as to determine the rights of the purchaser on certain items in a sale and purchase transaction, to determine whether a particular item forms part of the land or not, and to determine the right of the charge bank over the land charged to them as a security. Things that are attached to land may be called as chattel or fixture, depending on their characteristics. An important maxim which is quick acid plantator solo jadid explains the nature of fixtures, which simply means whatever is attached to the land becomes part of the land. The two tests in determining whether an item is a chattel or fixtures are laid down in the case of Holland v. Hodgson. In this case, the owner of a mill purchased some looms for use in his mill. They were attached to the stone floor by nails driven into wooden beams. They could quite easily be removed. The owner then mortgaged the mill and failed to keep up the payments, and the mill was repossessed. The question for the court was whether the looms were fixtures forming part of the land or whether they remained chattels. It was held that the looms had become fixtures and thus formed part of the land mortgaged. To determine whether things attached to the land are fixtures or chattel, there are two tests. The first test is the degree of annexation. This test concerns the physical attachment of an item to the land. If an item is even slightly tied to the land, it is considered a fixture, but if it stands on its own weight, it is considered a chattel. The damage factor should also be used in the first test to determine an item's state. If there is damage to the item when removing it, it is considered a fixture. Otherwise, it is considered a chattel. However, these assumptions can be disproved in the second, therefore both tests should be used. The second test is the purpose of annexation. Unlike the first test, the second test does not concern how attached the item to the land is but rather why the item was affixed.